One. Hello, my name is Irfan Ahmed.
And I'm Emily McGillicuddy.
Uh, Sarah Gilmet, our third member, could not join us today, unfortunately. But this is the effects of social media use on ageism in a college student sample, which is our research project, which analyzes social media usage and how it affects aging stereotypes. So, um, social media use has become prominent in recent years, and many negative opinions stem from social media use, and many of these negative opinions have to do with age groups, targeted towards age groups, based on voters' 2020 study, which analyzed social media usage for a decade. Weintraub's 2022 study also highlighted the negative effects of social media use towards the elderly in particular, because young people tended to stereotype the elderly through different types of negative beliefs. Sabatini's 2023 study found that there was actually a bidirectional relationship between social media use and ageism. That is to say that social media use can actually help the elderly develop more confidence and basically just develop more uh, positive views, though particularly it's stemmed from their own usage of social media to form connections. So it's more like a self-perception rather than the young actually um, having better views on them. So the goal of our study was to study how social media use can affect ageistic views in a sample amount of college students. As such, our hypothesis was that there would be a correlation, positive correlation between social media use and ageism. That say that as social media consumption increases, um, ageistic views increases. As such, our null hypothesis is that there will be no significant correlation between social media use and ageism. For our methods, we asked 67 UMass undergraduate students a questionnaire. Most of them were female, as you can see, 55 female and 10 males. They were aged between 18 and 30 years of age, and most of them were seniors or juniors, with some of them being sophomores and a few of them being freshmen. We utilized a demographic survey asking their year, gender, and year in college and age. Social media use scale, which is a 9-point Likert scale that asks about social media use within the past week. Uh, It asks in hours how much social media you've used, and it is divided into four subcategories. And we also use the Ferroni scale of ageism, also known as, measures ageism using a 4-point Likert scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree.
As for our results, we had four subcategories, which included comparison, which represented negative comparisons to others online, and then image base, which was utilizing images online, and then we also had belief, which is prior beliefs on ageism, and consumption, which represented the amount of time consumed online or having consumed media. Out of these subcategories, only two were found significant. A Spearman correlations were run to assess people's associations between the SMUS and FSA scores. A marginally significant negative correlation was observed between the SMUS belief subscale and the FSA scores, with a p-value of 0.055, and another significant negative correlation was observed between the SMUS consumption subscale and FSA scores, with a p-value of 0.034. So you can see in figure 2, we have our negative correlation between ageism and belief scores. And for figure 3, we can see our negative correlation between ageism and consumption scores as well. Figure one represents all of the social media used, and Instagram was the most used social media platform among our participants, with TikTok being the second most used and Snapchat being the third.
So our results are not actually in accordance with voters' tenure study, um, which over the course of a decade has found that social media may actually increases ageism in young people. Instead, our study actually found social media use decreased ageism in the college sample that we had for our project, which suggests that which resembles more of Sabatini's findings of a bidirectional relationship between social media use and ageism. This is due to the fact that, as you can see from the figures that Emily mentioned, so ageism, as social media use increases, particularly on the belief-based and consumption-based scales, the ageistic beliefs decrease, and significant negative correlation between the SMES belief subscale and ageism uh, suggests that negative interactions when using social media may actually drive people away from believing in such uh, negative stereotypes, because it's like some people on the internet may just be appalled at what they see from other people, and that's why they wouldn't like develop the same types of stereotypes. Um, as for a negative correlation between consumption-based usage and ageism, we figured that the more social media used, the less likely people are actually to develop uh, stereotypes, because the more social media use may indicate more connections with the elderly. And it's actually pretty light-hearted to see that social media use, at least for our sample, is actually decreasing ageism, which shows that there is hope for social media use within uh, aging stereotypes. Uh, my partner Emily will now discuss the future directions and close out the project.
So limitations to this study included sample size because we did have a small sample size and diversity. Most of our bits were female, and they all were psychology undergrad students at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth. So our sample couldn't represent the full population.
Uh, and we'd like to thank Dr. Alvis and Joy Artist for their help with this study, and also the psych undergraduates that participated, as well as all the psych
Rod.
department that helped us. Thank you.